Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. I think it's live. I think it's live. Well, I'm going to assume it's live because it looks like it's live, even though it didn't pop on the screen and say you're live. So, good morning. Good morning, people. Good morning, good people. Today is Thursday, October 17th, 2024. An historic day in the history of my life. 7 years ago today, my son left to go to basic training at Fort Leonard Woods, Fort Lost in the Woods, Huachuca. I think it's Fort Huachuca, Kansas. No, Fort Leonard Woods in Kansas. Then he went to Fort Huachuca. So 7 years ago today. All righty then. Next. But now, of course, he's at the stage where he knows everything. So good. Proud of him. We all go through these stages: learning, earning, and yearning. So he was learning, now he's in his earning stage. All right, but for the rest of us, we're still learning. So here we are once again, Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help you on your journey through this life in the best way possible, preparing you for the destination. The destination is what comes next. There's good reason to believe we have a transcendent soul, and good reason to believe that the Creator became incarnate. So we start from the question of, was the universe created or not? If it somehow just created itself, then we're just atoms in the void. Nothing we do really matters. There's nothing after this. However, if it was created, then we've got something to work with. If it was created, maybe we have something to work with. And if it turns out it's more likely than not that we have a transcendent soul, that something happens after this life, then we should be investigating. Okay, well, if something happens after this life, what could it be? What could it be? And the best evidence, once again, the best evidence is that Jesus was the Creator incarnate. Why? Well, direct evidence would be the Shroud of Turin, if it is real. And all we know right now for sure that everybody can agree upon is, number one, it's at least 700 years old. And number two, we don't know how it was made, or three, how to recreate it. The argument is it is the burial cloth of Jesus, and there's more and more evidence mounting that that, in fact, is the case, that it looks like it's the burial shroud of somebody, a man who was crucified about 2,000 years ago. And it also makes sense that if, as the gospel says, the burial cloth was folded up in the corner of the tomb, it would make sense that they kept it, and it would be a sacred relic. So it's not surprising that it would exist today, especially if it was listed or mentioned in the gospel. Because the story fits, and the shroud fits the gospel stories of the crucifixion. Crown of thorns, spear in the side, wounds from being scourged. Okay, but I digress. Not really. Let's get back to where we are. So today, once again, 17th of October, it is about 6 o'clock in the morning. It's getting a little bit of an early start because I have a full day. Looks like the jackbooted people once again went out of their way to harm the innocent. Warning wouldn't be good enough. Hey, don't make me do this. Wouldn't be good enough. Gonna take you to jail. Take a 70-year-old lady to jail trying to get her stuff. following instructions that it's been over a month. We'll see how that plays out. So I won't need to get to court around 8 o'clock this morning. Then I have an 8:30 at the Conservative Club on behalf of the only viable candidate for District 3 County Board of Commissioners. Our last hope. Our last hope. Okay, so a lot to do today. And our theme of today is it's the chase. It's the chase. And you're saying, what? What? Okay, but before we get to it's the chase, spoiler alert, has to do with motivation. Let's go to the worksheet. What is the advice from an 80-year-old? Give people a second chance and a third. As long as when they come up short, when they miss the mark, when they sin, yes, rock and roll quotes, when they sin, you rebuke them for the sinning, you get it off your chest. It'd be an easy way to say it, an easy general way of saying, not the technical description, but just an easy way for people to understand. Somebody harms you, you rebuke them. Get it off your chest. You tell them what the problem is. You articulate it. And under restorative justice, you tell them what you want them to do next, how to make you whole. And that's W-H-O-L-E, not H-O-L-E, not the thing you buy drills for. So you tell them what they need. You rebuke them. You tell them what they need to do to make things right. And if they repent, in other words, make a conscious decision and act such that they will never do that again, that harm will never reoccur, then you forgive them. And if you want a biblical reference for that, Luke 17:3. Yes, Jesus says to forgive, but when he's saying to forgive people, he doesn't tell you the formula. In Luke 17:3, he does tell you the formula. If they sin, rebuke. If they repent, forgive. And if you don't forgive, you're not going to be forgiven. So that's another reason to forgive. It's kind of a segue into our theme of today of it's the chase, about motivation. It's the chase. Once again, we'll talk about that in a minute. Seth Godin, Seth's blog, Decisions as Effort. Why are we more likely to get tasks done than to take on new initiatives? Checking something off a to-do list requires far less emotional energy than adding something to the list was in the first place. As is often the case, resistance is the answer. It's easy to type a book, hard to write one. That's because writing one involves making choices. Okay, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Skipping to the end because time is racing. Once we acknowledge that taking initiative, which is more accurately described as offering initiative, requires effort, we can allocate the time and resources to do it well. Okay, very, very good. Very good. Okay, so I'm thinking about a couple things. As I'm reading that, thinking about poor Shirley, spent the night in jail, trying to get her property back. Once again, the sheriff's department lets them down. They go out to try to initiate the cops coming out. Rather than that, what do? Who knows? I don't know exactly what happened. I want to give some benefit of the doubt to the sheriff's department because it's hard to believe that somebody that goes near a house, they're going to say, look, I don't want to arrest you. You need to go. It's hard to believe that, but she got arrested, didn't get her property, spending money. all kinds of bad things happening. Once again, the court system appears to let people down. So she spent the night in jail. Not good, never good, but we move on. Maybe something can be learned from it. Anyway, how we doing on time? 10:26. Okay, let's talk about our theme of today. It's the chase. So in red letter down below, Jordan Peterson talks about motivation. Motivation. It's not the thing around the castle. Motivation. And he says it's really the best way to motivate is a combination of two things. Going to the thing you want and running from the thing you don't want. That's the motivation, or let's say this way, going after the thing you want and getting away from what you don't want. Here's what I want. I want to be successful. I want to make money. I want to be a good friend, whatever it is I want. And here's what I don't want. I want somebody to be my friend. What I don't want is them to say negative things about me, or I don't want other people to say negative things about me to the person I want to be a friend. So what am I motivated to do? Do things that are pleasing, are compatible to having a good relationship, and don't do things that would detract from that. So the exercise for today, think of the things that you want. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to happen? Think of those things. And what do you not want to happen? So in one of Jordan Peterson's other things, he says, yeah, I'd like to do this, but I'd also like to have a half a bottle of scotch. But if I have the scotch, here's the bad thing that's going to happen. And I want to avoid that happening. I think we often, my hunch is mostly we don't spend time thinking about in advance, what do we want? What is the path to get there? And we certainly don't think about what I need to get to be chasing me. What needs to be chasing me? We just ignore that. But if we focus on what do I not want to happen? What do I not want to happen? Then we can say, well, what do I need to do so that what I don't want to happen doesn't actually happen? And if we think about that, if we ask ourselves that question, what do I not want to happen? Then a whole bunch of things will come up. Many probably random things, but some of them will be nuggets in there, or maybe just a sledgehammer. Here's what I don't want to happen. Okay, what do I need to do for that not to happen? And then do the exercise. The flip side, as Darren Hardy says, on the flip side, do the things, figure out, well, what do I need to happen? What do I need to do to get the things I want to happen to actually happen? Right. Righto. The theme of today was originally going to be start planting, because Darren Hardy has a good one that we can tie into this whole motivation thing. We are mainly spend our times harvesting what we planted long ago. So if you got a lot of problems in your life right now, that's what you're harvesting. You're harvesting the scarcity in your life because you didn't plant in the past. Way back there, you did not plant something good. So you're harvesting limited stuff. For example, let's talk about education. There is a direct relationship between education and income. The more you know, the more you earn. The more you learn, the more you earn. Learning, earning, and yearning. The more you learn, the more you earn. Now, that is a true statement. However, it also depends upon what you're learning. So you're like Atticus von Atticus and you spend your time learning a lot of World War II trivia and learning a lot about mass murderers and learning a lot about guns, that those kind of things don't have general market value. They don't have general market value. So you spent your time learning things that most people don't really care about. There's no economic value. However, if on the other hand you learn about money, you learn accounting, that has general economic value. If you learn about nursing, that has general economic value. That is called planting. Okay, I'm investing the time to learn how to do things so in the future I can harvest the benefits of what I learned. Now we are harvesting. We spend most of our time harvesting. We need to start planting. We need to stop harvesting and start planting, because if all you're doing is harvesting, you're going to run out. Shirley, to her benefit, to her credit, spends a lot of time planting. She's out learning to be an insurance agent here, there, everywhere. She's out, a notary. She's out document signing. She's got a lot of things going. She's doing planting. What are you planting? Folk, now you can add the motivation part. Okay, what do I need to do to get motivated to plant? All right, we're at 16 minutes in, people, and no sign from Diana or anyone else. Again, the most important thing, repetition, repetition. Show up every day, do the work, show up every day, do the work. Repetition, 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 building better habits. And here we want to get in the habit of planting. That's the worksheet. Learn something. If you watch a Darren Hardy video today, go on the thing down below and have them sent to you directly. Same thing with Seth Godin. Click on Seth Godin, scroll down to the bottom, get it so that he'll send them to your email. And if it's on your email, you're getting them directly from Seth Godin, from Darren Hardy, from Jordan Peterson, Daily Stoic, the things we have on the worksheet. Plant the seed and have them send them directly to you. Okay. With that, we're going to say and cut. Time is racing. Got a lot to do. Shiva's